The United Nations attempt to seek justice for those killed in the crash of MH17 ran into a roadblock. Russia pledged to veto the UN Security Council draft resolution, and it did just that. The measure called for a criminal tribunal to prosecute anyone found responsible for the Malaysia Airlines crash. CCTV's Liling Tan joins us now from UN headquarters in New York. Liling, what more can you tell us?
Well, this is clearly a major setback for the families who lost loved ones in that tragedy, but also for so many Security Council member states here at the United Nations. This was a setback as well. They have been in pursuit of justice and accountability, and this eluded them this session. What this resolution would have done is set up this ad hoc criminal tribunal to prosecute those found to be responsible for the shooting down of MH17, which crashed in eastern Ukraine last year as it was flying en route from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur.
I invite all present to stand as we remember those victims.
A moment of silence kicked off this high-level session at the UN as member states remembered the 298 victims of the MH17 crash. Then the vote came, in which 11 hands went up in favor.
Those against?
Russia was the sole opponent. 3 countries, including China, abstained. Russia's veto and its apparent reluctance to negotiate have raised further questions and accusations that pro-Russian rebels were involved or responsible in the downing of the plane, which Russia has consistently denied. Moscow, which has instead proposed a separate international investigation, also criticized this resolution's attempt to characterize the crash as a threat to international peace and security.
The draft, which was submitted for voting today, was deprived of any legal basis or any precedent. We have repeatedly explained this to our colleagues, and we called upon them to consider alternatives. However, the sponsors of the draft refused to act in a spirit of cooperation, submitted it for a vote, knowing in advance that this would not lead to a positive result.
Malaysia, which spearheaded the resolution with Australia, Belgium, the Netherlands and Ukraine, expressed dismay.
Instead of conveying the message in support of justice and accountability, we are sending a dangerous message of impunity for the perpetrator of this heinous crime, as well as jeopardizing the safety of civil aviation over conflict zone in the future.
The US, which was among member states who voted in favor of the tribunal, was more cutting in its criticism against Moscow's veto.
By vetoing this resolution, Russia has tried to deny justice to the 298 victims on that plane and deny their families a chance to hold accountable those responsible.
And Mike, there really were no surprises here. Russia had said in the past few days it would veto this resolution, and its ambassador to the UN, Vitaly Churkin, had spoken to reporters just moments before he entered the Security Council chamber for the vote, telling them that Moscow's position had not changed. So while this was a major setback, it is not an unexpected one. Mike?
Not unexpected. Despite how unlikely it was for this resolution to actually be passed, why did the Security Council want to press for this vote anyway?
In large part, this was a show of solidarity and perhaps to an extent symbolism as well, in having all these senior government officials here pushing for this vote, showing their commitment to take this further beyond the investigations that are going on right now. At the moment, there are 2 investigations in progress. One is being led by the Dutch. That's a technical investigation into what actually caused the crash. And then the other one is a 5-nation group, the joint investigation team comprising of Malaysia, Belgium, the Netherlands, Ukraine and Australia, and they're looking into criminal culpability. And what this tribunal would have done is it would have taken that step towards prosecuting those found to be responsible under international law.
Liling Tan, live for us at the United Nations in New York.